best bites forever.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Best Bites Forever. In this video, I'm going to show you what to do with all of those dried beans that you bought for quarantine. Alright, let's rock out this bean salad. The first thing that I have here is some pinto beans, and I'm going to be using some other types, but these soaked in water overnight. I changed the water 3 times and the water is super salty. So in there I have some light great northern beans, some white beans, and some kidney beans. Those also soaked overnight, and I changed their water, salty water, 3 different times. I'm going to go ahead and start my pinto beans first because they take the longest to cook. I put them in very salty water along with 1 bay leaf. You can also put some garlic or garlic powder in there if you want to. My pinto beans cooked for 40 minutes, and now I'm adding my other beans. Now, a word to the wise, sometimes if you add cold beans to hot water, they will crack and you'll end up with like little broken beans. You can avoid that just by draining those pinto beans and starting over with cold salty water. I didn't bother. I was living on the edge that day. So moving right along, here I have a shallot. I was quarantine cooking again, so I would have liked to have had a bigger shallot, but I didn't. So I ended up having about a tablespoon of finely chopped shallot. It would have been nice to have like a couple of tablespoons, but it's cool. It was still delicious. I went ahead and I minced that up really nicely, so I had tiny little bits of shallot, and this goes over here into my bean mixture. Moving right along, I'm going to cut up these tomatoes. So I happen to have 8 cherry tomatoes. You can use any kind of tomato that you have in the house. If you have like the Roma tomatoes or vine ripened, whatever it is. The bigger tomatoes I like to take the seeds out of. These little cherry guys I don't worry so much about, but just go ahead and cut them into kind of like bite size so that you're getting some in each bite if possible. The next thing that I'm going to be using is some lemon zest, and I'm just using my handy dandy zester here to get some nice long pieces. But of course I am going to cut those up because nobody wants to get a big huge giant piece of lemon zest. We want this nice and evenly distributed inside of our bean salad. So into the beans it goes, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a little piece of my lemon off of the end. I don't need a ton of lemon juice for this. I'm going for somewhere between, I don't know, 2 teaspoons up to a tablespoon-ish, but you can adjust that to your own taste. I'm just going to give this a little squeeze, and of course watch for seeds jumping in there. I have here about a teaspoon of garlic, and sorry my bowl's all the way up there, but I'm going to move it in just a second. There you go. I also have 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and again, all of these flavors can be adjusted to the flavor that you like, but I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice little stir. I have one more ingredient that I want to add in here, which is going to be some nice fresh basil. Here I have 5 beautiful basil leaves, and of course, to cut these up, what you do is just roll them up nice and tightly, and then you run your knife across them. This is called chiffonade, which means little ribbons. So here is our lovely basil chiffonade, and of course it's going to go right in there with my beans. That is the last thing, but there's one more important step, which is to cover your bean salad up and put it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. 3 is better before you even think about serving it. Take note, my little beans really didn't crack. They did pretty well handling that hot water, if I do say so myself. Of course, here is my plate up, and thank you guys for watching. Hey, if you haven't subscribed already, now would be a great time, and I will see you in the next video. Happy cooking, everyone!
Bestbitesforever.com